I used to struggle with being extremely lazy and undisciplined for many years. And I always thought that it was because I lacked the willpower or the motivation. But no matter how many motivational videos I watched or how much I forced myself to struggle through all of this resistance, I always fell back into lazy mode. But only when I discovered about discipline, what I will share with you in this video, did I actually make real progress. So let's get straight to the point. Being disciplined is not necessarily about adding a skill or becoming more of something, but it actually is about removing the things out of your life that are holding you back from being disciplined. And I think this is especially true in today's day and age where we live in a world full of distractions. And it's a big problem, especially for the younger generations who grew up with a smartphone and Netflix and video games. We are so used to being constantly connected and entertained that every activity that requires hard work is perceived as very difficult and dull. Our brains are so flushed with dopamine and our attention spans have been shortened by snackable content so much that we have great difficulty to focus for longer periods of time. So the solution to this problem is not about learning more about time management or reading a bunch of books on productivity. It's about removing these distractions from your life so that your brain can get back to a normal level of dopamine sensitivity. Let me explain it to you like this. When you're constantly eating sweets and junk food, all of the healthy stuff like vegetables and salad will taste extremely dull in comparison. And only when you pull all the bad stuff out of your diet for a while will you be able to taste the nuances of the good stuff again. After a couple of days, you will be surprised how great that tomato can taste. The most problematic thing about sweets is that you get used to that level of stimulation very quickly. It becomes your new baseline for normal. And the only thing that can satisfy you is eating more and more of it. Remember how intense that chocolate bar tasted as a kid when your mom finally allowed you to have one? And nowadays it has kind of lost that intensity, doesn't it? That's because we have numbed our taste so much that it's not that special anymore. So it's basically the same with digital stimulation. Social media, TV shows, video games, you name it. These things like the sweets trigger the reward system in our brain so incredibly well that we want more and more of it. And every other activity, especially when it's hard, will look extremely unattractive in comparison. So we naturally gravitate toward these digital time wasters. However, when you remove them out of your life, other things will become way more interesting again, and your ability to focus on difficult tasks will slowly be restored. I used to spend an incredible amount of time scrolling through social media, but when I finally decided to delete all of the apps from my phone, I suddenly had way more time and my ability to focus on the more important and yet more difficult things in life skyrocketed. So do you have to remove these things from your life entirely? Probably not. I think it can be helpful to reduce your screen time to a bare minimum from time to time, especially when you are in a phase in your life that requires a lot of focus and discipline. But for life in general, you have to find a middle ground. And that might look differently for you than it does for me. I, for example, know that if I spend too much time on social media, it will suck me in and prevent me from doing anything substantial in my life. So I don't have any social media apps on my main phone and I only go on Instagram through an old phone I have in a drawer every once in a while. More than that leads to a never-ending cycle of doom scrolling in my life. But for you it might be enough to limit your screen time to the evenings or every other day. Other people might have to go complete monk mode, which is basically all about getting rid of social media and other forms of digital stimulation entirely. So if you want to know more about how I deal with reducing screen time, make sure to check out this video up here. I wish you a very nice day and I hope to see you very soon. Bye bye.